Recently, I have been granted early access to an upcoming Dark Souls 2 mod by Yozora. Yes, the Yozora, creator of the very popular Seeker of Fire mod called the Bearer of the Curse Edition. Meant to be a beginner-friendly version of Dark Souls 2 that adjusts or straight up removes some of the more controversial features of Dark Souls 2. I've actually meant to make this video a little while ago, so apologies for that, Yozora. So today I want to shortly showcase this mod a little bit and give you guys a rough idea of what it's about. Also, if you want to have early access to it as well, Yozora was actually so nice to share a download link on my Discord server for everyone of the community to try it out. So if you're interested, you can join the server. Wink. Link in the description, of course. So, one of the first things you'll notice that has changed are the starting classes. We now have a warrior, knight, swordsman, outlaw, cleric, sorcerer, explorer, and the classic deprived. The one that stood out the most to me here was actually the explorer, because instead of starting with a cool weapon or the likes, they start with 3 rings and a bunch of consumable items. Honestly, a very cool take on the starting class that I think we haven't really seen yet in a Souls game. Also worth to note is that the warrior starts with the Faram armor set, so if you want to look like the guy from the box art as quick as possible, this is your best shot. Starting gift selection is also updated a bit and actually lets you choose the silver cat ring from the get-go, just like in Seeker of Fire. So if you want to hop into the pit of Majula first thing, you can easily do so now. Wait, what? Hang on. Oh. That's not a lot of health. So after you put a few levels into Vitality, you can jump down the pit, no problem. Jokes aside, I do think it is kind of strange that the warrior has health this small, but oh well. You can just select the knight, for example, who has a Vitality score of 12, and you'll be fine. So after you finish your character, the first thing that comes to your mind might be to kill the ogre that can be found to the side, but nope, the path is blocked by a petrified statue, so no way for us to go there now. From what I could tell, nothing really changed in the tutorial area, although I noticed that the birds that trade with you are immediately available, but I'm honestly not sure if they are in the base game. But you can select the petrified something as a starting gift to trade for maybe something really cool right from the start. Also, if you check your stats, you might notice that the adaptability stat still exists, but no longer changes the amount of iframes you get from rolling. Thank God. And from what I can tell, rolling feels amazing. It's very smooth and never felt weird or BS like it usually does when you don't level adaptability enough. Yozora was also so nice to give me a list of some of the most notable changes that I'm just gonna run down real quick in their own words. The movement of the player attacks are just as responsive as it was in Seeker of Fire. Some item effects are like Seeker of Fire, like the Estus and human effigies. Estus Flask has increased from 12 to 15 for maximum capacity, though those extra flask shards are found in the DLC. A few world map changes so that it makes a little bit more sense. For example, you can now see more vintage points from other areas, like seeing Hades Tower of Flame from Majula or Dranglake Castle. Some level design changes are carried from Seeker of Fire, but only a few. DLC keys have been placed inside the Majula mansion, so you don't have to go manhunt like you did in Vanilla DS2. As a bonus, inside the mansion are a set of reskinned weapons that were unavailable in-game and limited time events. They are now located in a single chest. Enemy placements have been mixed around, some of them inspired by original DS2, pre-Scholar, with some creative liberties. Lots of enemy aggro range have been reduced, especially in Shrine of Amana. You can still get ganged, but it's a little more bearable than Scholar. Certain enemies will now only show up in New Game Plus to make it more fair for first-time playthroughs. You can now riposte most of the bosses that are parryable. It just requires a few frames before they can be riposted. This idea was sort of inspired by DS3 and Elden Ring, since you can parry and riposte some bosses. Lastly, some lighting and model changes to the game and texture rework to some NPC characters. And there you have it. I do have to say, if this mod turns out the way I think it will, I'm probably just gonna recommend new players to play with it. Since I personally believe that Vanilla DS2 and Scholar are very heavily building on this It needs to be annoyingly hard image, which unfortunately turns a lot of new players down. But with this mod, I think that that could change, and we might finally get the actual definitive version of Dark Souls 2. Also, fun fact, that was what Yozora originally wanted the mod to be called. So I guess that speaks for itself then. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was definitely a very different type of video and much shorter than usual. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna make more of these showcase info videos, but I guess this was sort of a special case where I was directly asked to playtest something and was given special allowance to make a video of it. Big thanks again to Yozora for one, working on this mod, and secondly giving me and my still very small community early access to it. I really appreciate that. Again, if you want to try the mod yourself, there's a link by Yozora in the gamer chat on my Discord pinned. And I'll see you guys in the next video.